We're inviting others to come on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this midweek episode of Anatad Podcast. We are going to get started here in the next few minutes. We're just going to wait for some people to get on.
Gee, the 12 Pro is going to cost 2,000 Australian. Yay. Sexy. Oof. Yeah, I don't know whether I can afford that. Oof.
Oh, good. Periscope is live.
Very good.
Looks like I can't tell if Facebook is live because I don't have a Facebook, but the link goes through to Facebook anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be.
Let's see about YouTube. I think YouTube should be okay. View on YouTube. Oh yes, YouTube is good. Very little lag on YouTube. That's good. Apparently we've got 2 watching.
Very good. Well, you're one of them.
Hello. I'm one of them. Wow, we've got 3 people watching now. Hello, everybody. And we're going to get started in just 2 more minutes. We'll just see if anyone else pops on. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Thank you.
Beautiful day here today. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very nice here too.
Oh, we got about 22, 23. Just a nice day.
Yeah, it was, I think, what do we get up to here today? 28? Something around there? 29?
I think we're getting in the mid-20s
Yeah.
tomorrow. So, yep.
We'll be in almost the mid-30s by the end of the week.
Well, the northwest part of our state, which is always the hottest part, they've got 34 today. So they're 10 degrees warmer than here.
Remind me never to live there.
And that's about, I don't know, 400 kilometres from here. 400 k's. It's a reasonable sized state. About 400 k's from Melbourne.
Remind me never to live there.
It's good to live there in winter, though. It's a bit warmer. But yeah, in summer, it's damn hot. You get up close to 50 there in summer. That part of the state. Right.
Okay, everybody, I think we're probably good to start here. We're going to go ahead and begin. And we just want to thank all of you for coming on. And we're not going to have as wild of an episode as we did last time. In fact, we'll try to keep it short unless something else happens. We'll see what happens. But thank you very much for joining us for this midweek episode. And what we're here to talk about today is nothing to do with Android. We're going to talk about, well, it might have something to do with Android in that it might make a few Android fanboys jealous. But we are here to talk about the Apple event that took place today, and there were a number of announcements that were made, and we're going to talk about them. And I have my guest. I think he is from, where is he from? Mojave Desert today?
Oh, am I in the heat today? Oh, good.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Well, it's a beautiful day here today. 22, 23, which is what, about 70, no, 73, 74. Perfect weather. Can't complain.
Yeah, that's great. It's getting hot here again, unfortunately.
Yeah, you guys have still got the heat.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Have you still got the fires over there, or are they sort of calmed down now?
No, still got fires. Yeah, they're still burning. In fact, they're going to shut off the power in a number of counties here the next couple of days on and off because they don't want any more fires to spark.
Oh, okay.
So they have
Well,
these things called public safety power shutoffs. That's what they do here.
That will cause a bit of a upheaval there for some of you guys with no power. Could be interesting. Hopefully they don't have that power off on Saturday night there, Mr. Nima.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, could be interesting.
And let's see here. Tabitha says, hello. Tabitha's here. I'm sorry that your boy Warren's not here. I apologize, but I think he's sleeping, having a good beauty rest.
I would be by now. Yeah.
And, yes,
Either that or at church.
Yeah,
Possibly.
hallelujah. It might be a church.
Probably.
All right, so here's what we got cracking today. Apple released a number of things, and we're going to tell you a little bit about them, and we'll try to tell you about some accessibility implications as well, because I know that you guys can go and just read up the specs yourself. So we'll just try to give more of our take on the event and a lot less of the specky type things. We'll mention the specs a little bit, but we'll tell you a little bit about our take on the event as well. So we have first, Verizon has announced their nationwide 5G. They're using something called dynamic spectrum sharing, so they're allocating on the fly dynamically spectrum between 4G and 5G, which is kind of cool since they don't have a lot of spectrum. It will slow down 4G and 5G just a tad because of them having to do that, but at least they're rolling it out, so now you'll have a 5G icon anywhere you go around the country. And they've also rolled out a couple more cities for their high millimeter wave, and they've upgraded the speeds to where a lot of places are going to see speeds anywhere between 3 and 4 gigabits per second. If you have 5G in your city with Verizon, those are the speeds that you'll be getting. So quite good. And the reason that they did this, they partnered with Apple because Apple today has released a bunch of iPhones, and all their iPhones are 5G. But before we jump onto iPhones, we'll talk a little bit about the boring thing. It's not that boring, though. It's the HomePod Mini.
Can we throw that out the window now?
Well, I tell you what, it's a $99 speaker. So
Yeah.
guess who they're trying to compete with this year?
Yeah.
The Google Home. Of course, Siri so far hasn't been that great, and the HomePod hasn't really had all the same features. Although they've added a number of features recently to try to compete, like their intercom feature. They made a big deal about this today, that you could use your iPhone while you're out and about and send a message, and it'll go to your HomePods and tell people whatever you want to tell them. So anyway, the HomePod Mini, $99. That thing is going to be released, available for pre-order soon, I think.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if that thing continues to struggle or not. It's definitely not a seller over here, that's for sure. And
Yeah, and in terms of speaker quality, in terms of speaker specs, it seems like the new Google Home has still got the edge.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if people get the new HomePod and what they think of it. And I guess if you're in the Apple ecosystem and you want to stay in that ecosystem, this is something to look forward to, I guess. And so there's that.
Yep. And also, I guess the price is a tad cheaper, isn't it? I think how much is the Apple? Sorry, how much is the Google one? $100 odd?
Yep, $99 here as well. So
Oh, okay, so they're both the same.
both of $99.
Well, I guess it depends on whether you like.
Although the
Siri or
Google Mini,
better.
the Mini one is $50, I believe.
Well, yeah.
And now on Prime Day, of course, it'll probably be cheaper than that. So,
Yeah, I guess it depends on what ecosystem you're in and whether you like Google or Siri. And Even though I've been complaining a lot about Google lately, I still think Google's just got it a little bit over Siri. But although Siri has definitely improved, well, it had to.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So we've got a new iPhone 12 and a new iPhone 12. This is the strangest name for an iPhone. A 12 mini.
And the
Why would you
12
call
mini,
a phone
yeah.
mini? I don't understand. But
Well,
anyway.
I guess because it's the littlest one out of the lot, but also it is for anyone that's interested in having a very small phone. It is going to be of the equivalent of the first SE, not the new SE 20, but the first SE. So if you're crying out for a phone that fits in your pocket comfortably, this might be the one for you. It's a nice
Yeah.
little phone.
When I hear mini, I kind of hear like substandard, and this doesn't seem like a substandard phone in
Yeah,
that
it's
it's
definitely
going to
not
have,
substandard.
it's going to have a price tag of $700, $699. It's going to have 5G baked in, and as Marco has said, it is the smallest of the iPhones, and yeah, it's going to have a lot of the same iPhone-y things that iPhone 12 is packing. The new processor, of course. The what is it? A13 Bionic or whatever it's called. Or is it
A14, I think it
14?
is.
A14
A14.
Bionic.
Yep. Hmm.
Their numbering is so strange.
Yeah. So is their numbering for their modems as well. It's very weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But essentially, it'll have the X60 modem, whatever that equates to in Apple land. I think it's called something like 7,000, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember the exact numbering, but it'll have the best modem, well, for any platform, which is pretty cool. If you care
Yeah,
about
it's going
that.
to have, and I don't know if the modem on the smaller phones, the non-Pro ones, is going to be any different than the Pro ones, and that's to be seen after the
Yeah,
teardown. And
that'll come down
so,
for well in a month, isn't it, I believe?
yeah, we're
Still going to
not
be a
sure
few
yet.
weeks.
And that's the thing. The Mini is not going to be available right away.
No,
So
which is a shame.
if you want the Mini, you're going to have to wait till end of November. And so, but the regular iPhone 12 will be available starting this Friday for pre-order here in the States at least, and then on sale next Friday, I believe.
Yep, and
And
that's the same here.
and that iPhone is a bit bigger. Now, they've gone back to the flat sides. So if you like the flat sides of the old iPhone, 5S, 5, 4, whatever those
I'm a big
old
fan.
iPhones with the flat
Yeah.
sides, these new iPhones have the flat sides now. They're not curved,
nice.
they're not rounded. I personally think the rounded ones are sexier, but if you're a favor of the flat ones, we've got the flat ones, and they're nice and thin, very thin, quite a bit smaller than the older iPhones. Even the iPhone 12 is not that big.
And the other thing that Apple claims, and I'm not sure how they're doing this, apparently if you drop it from a short height, it's not supposed to crack or break at all. So I'm not sure how they're doing that.
They've announced a new screen. They're putting what they call ceramic crystal into their glass. Now it's kind of interesting, right? So when I saw this announcement, I think of ceramic as if you have something ceramic and you throw it on the ground, guess what it does? It shatters.
Yes.
Immediately shatters. It is very scratch resistant, but it shatters. And so when someone tells me, "Hey, we're putting ceramic into a phone," that doesn't make me think durability. Maybe
Well,
scratch proof
same.
or something, scratch resistant.
Yep.
But it doesn't make me think durability. Now, it's not, the whole screen isn't ceramic. It is glass, but it has these so-called ceramic crystal that makes me think that it's probably a bit more scratch resistant, but probably it's not really going to be that much tougher
Well, I'm
than any
certainly
other
not
phone. But
going
we'll
to
wait
pay
and see
the money
for
for
jerry
it to
rig or
try it.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to pay the money to try it. But I mean, if Apple's willing to send us a phone, I'm more than willing to drop it and see what happens.
Oh, yes. I'll climb up on the roof and we'll do the Anatad podcast with it. I'll
Yeah.
drink a few before we do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ships ahoy. Yes.
Yeah. Now, we've also got the new iPhone Pros, the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. Now, the 12 Pro will also be available next week. The 12 Pro Max will not be available until the end of November again. similar to the iPhone 12
So,
mini.
which is this? Well, for me anyway, the two phones I'm most interested in are the Pro Max and the Mini. So you've got to wait until the end of November
Too bad
for
for
those
you.
two. Yeah. But the pricing on that Pro Max, so the upper phone here in Australia, is $2,000. That's a lot of moolah for an iPhone, or for any phone actually. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was put off by that, I'm telling you. And the other thing also, which I assume is the same in the US, a lot of people have been complaining here. It's been like literally the forums have been just going nuts over here with this, is no headphones and no, more importantly, charger.
No headphones, no charger. The one thing they are including is a Lightning to USB-C
Well, that's great. But
cord.
yeah.
And that is because Apple is moving to more USB-C centric dongles and accessories, probably in preparation for next year when they're going to say, hey, no more USB Lightning, too bad.
Yay.
That's my guess. And that will be a great thing. I think USB-C is great, and it opened things up for us Android users as well, because it means we can go out and buy accessories that are meant for Apple devices, and there are a lot more accessories for Apple devices than there are for Android devices. So
Absolutely.
I
But
think
yeah, a lot of people
that is a
are
great
definitely
thing.
having a good cry over the fact of no charger in particular. I
Yeah,
think
that bothers me. They didn't make
that's
the phone
annoying.
cheaper. Notice that.
No,
They didn't make
the
it
phone
any
is
cheaper.
actually the phone. Funnily enough, now I'm looking back at the prices here from the 10s Max, and the equivalent 11 was pretty much the same. So the phone here is exactly the same. It's still around the $2,000
It
mark.
is here too, so they didn't make it any cheaper.
No,
But they, well, I guess they are adding the millimeter wave, and that will increase the price of the phone. So maybe it kind of balances out. I don't know.
we don't.
But no
we don't
box.
have millimeter wave here, so people are complaining about that fact because obviously
You guys are paying the millimeter wave
we're
tax. Yeah.
That's right. We're paying the
Even though
tax,
you don't
but we
even
don't
have
get the
it.
benefit. Correct.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we're still getting no charger, and well, I guess the headphones isn't such a big deal, but it's still a big deal to some people. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, if you just get a brand new iPhone, you don't have a charger. You know, this is your first time
oh, and
getting
that's
one.
the other
and,
thing. Also,
you know.
Apple is charging for you to get it. You don't just get it. You can't ring up or message them through
No,
their
no,
online
you got to pay
chat,
for it.
You've got to pay for it. It ain't free, baby.
Yeah. And they actually in their event encouraged other manufacturers to do the same. Let's tell all the manufacturers right here, right now on this live stream, do not do the same. Do not follow the Apple tax way of doing things, please. Thank you.
No.
So anyway, the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, the differences between them, they're bigger screens. They're definitely better built. They have stainless steel instead of aluminum sides. I suspect the modem is going to be better in them. They definitely are going to have more cameras and better cameras, especially the Pro Max, which has the best camera in that device. They have
Now,
LiDAR sensors.
Before you move on to the sensors and the rest of it, the cameras also, I believe you can edit and record at a exceedingly high bit rate and frames per second. I haven't got it in front of me right now, but it's the first phone that can do it as well. The video capability out of this phone is pretty
HDR10,
impressive.
yep, 10-bit.
Yeah, it's very
They're
nice.
the first phone to do it, and I think iPhones have always been the best for video.
Oh, they are. For video, they're excellent.
There's nothing else that compares. Samsung devices come the closest, but even their
Yeah.
Android devices just frankly suck for video
Yeah.
as compared
And you've
to
also
the
got to
iPhones.
get and you've also got to get a third party recorder to at least take advantage of the sound. I mean, if you just use the generic recorder, it's pretty average. It's no good. So the iPhones are fantastic for that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you get the iPhone, get pretty good. I think the audio is promising to be
very
good.
good.
So, and they're including the LiDAR sensor, which will help for depth sensing. This new sensor is on iPads, and it is, strangely enough, one of the ways that the new app, this Good Maps that's come out, is going to use to map indoor buildings is through LiDAR sensors. So it's kind of interesting that's happening. But so the new iPhone Pros, Pro Maxes will have this new sensor, which will help us out, I think, as soon as apps get updated to take advantage of it. Hopefully they will, and I can imagine that they probably will at some point. So, let's see. They're going to be, of course, the most expensive, but I think definitely when I think about their
yeah.
value of what they have, They're the most expensive, but they're also the most premium device that you can buy
And
in
frankly, you've
terms
also
of
got to
build.
remember, listeners, that I mean, let's be frank. I mean, 3 years will be the minimum that you'd want to get out of this device, and you'll probably have it for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, you can have this phone for a nice long time
You'll have this phone for a long time, and it will be a premium phone for quite a while. It's really
because
got some
Apple
very
does
nice
update
gear
their
in it.
devices, their
Yeah,
processors top of
yeah.
anything else that you can buy.
Mm.
Definitely. And this year they have upped the storage. They start with 128 gigs finally.
Mm.
This has been
About
something
time.
I've been complaining about
Yeah.
Apple for a long time. So I'm glad that they start out with that. The 256 gig storage option for the iPhone 12 is a little bit cheaper than the cheapest iPhone 12 Pro. So if you don't need the better cameras, which is essentially what the Pro is giving you, you don't need the best of the best in terms of modem, you don't need the best build, although you're still getting a good build, then you'd be just fine getting the iPhone 12. You're still getting the
Mm.
5G, you're still getting the good sound, whatever, everything else. The cameras are pretty good. They're not as good, but
Oh, they're going
they're
to be as
good.
good as you get
They're
on an
good.
11 or a 10. They'll be
Yeah,
fine.
they'll
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
Mm.
So,
I'm
uh,
actually quite excited about, and the only reason I'm quite excited about it is because I do like having a small phone around. I like having a large phone on the Android side, and I know this sounds odd, but I do really like having a smaller phone. I always liked the smaller iPhone, so I'm going to be interested to see what comes out with a mini and what it's missing,
yeah,
because that price tag is quite cheap.
I think a lot of blind people will probably feel the same. They do like the
Mm.
minis. We can see the specs of the mini. If you go to Apple's website,
And we'll link that as well, so you can
yep.
click on that in the
So if
show
we go to
notes. But
Apple's website, you can definitely compare the different iPhone models, and the
mm,
minis is really not missing.
it's not missing a huge amount, really.
No, no, it's
It's not
not.
bad. It's very good bang for its buck at 700 US. That's decent, very decent phone. Now, the other thing that a lot of people are complaining, and I don't know why people thought this was going to be coming into the iPhone. I personally didn't see this coming in, but a lot of people are complaining about missing the fingerprint or the in-screen fingerprint. Now, that's not going to be on the iPhone 12s, and I don't know why some people thought that this was going to happen. I'd never thought that Apple showed any intention of this happening. I don't think they'll bring that back in until they fully tested it out to make sure it's working as they want it to. So those that are missing out or feel that they're not going to buy the new phone because of that, well, I guess that's just the way you feel about it. I personally didn't think that they were going to bring it back, but anyway. So a lot of people out there seem to think that they would.
So let's see.
So
I've got the specs here. We've got black, white, product red, green, blue. So we got plenty of colors.
I'll just go the black or the white. Don't care.
It is aluminium, and these are for both the 12 and the 12
Mini.
mini.
Yeah.
The capacity starts at 64 gigs, which is unfortunate. And this is
Yeah,
for
I
the
want more than
12.
that. Mm.
They have 128 and they have 256. So of course you'd probably want to up that, get a higher
I
model.
want a minimum
I
128
don't know
for
why
me.
they did
Yeah.
that. I really wish that they would stop putting 64-bit in
Yeah.
phones, 64 gigs in phones. It's rather unfortunate, but let's see. Size and weight: 2.53 inches or 64.2 millimeters is the width. 5.18 inches or 131 millimeters is the height. Depth of 0.29 inches or 7.4 millimeters. And it's 4.76 ounces. So definitely by far lighter than
Mm.
most phones, smaller than
Yeah.
most phones or any phone on the market really. It's the smallest 5G phone. 135 grams for the weight on that one. So let's just compare that to the iPhone 12, shall we? So the width on the mini is 2.53 inches or 64.2 millimeters. On the actual 12, it is 71.5 millimeters or 2.82 inches. So not that much wider.
Not a huge amount.
Height
Mm.
is about the same. Thickness is the exact same. The height is it went from 5.18 inches to 5.78 inches.
Oh,
So
that's quite a significant. That's a lot. That's definitely noticeable.
it is noticeable, but it's not
Yeah.
that. It's not that 131 millimeters to 146 millimeters. So
Mm.
it's definitely a height difference, but it's
Yeah.
not that significant that you know. But
Mm.
definitely the mini is smaller.
Yeah.
All right, display Super X Retina, whatever, 5.4 inch, and the other one is 6.1 inch. Now realize that
Mm.
these aren't how big the actual phones are. This is just how much screen real estate is
Yeah.
on the phone, diagonal, from top left to bottom right. IP68 up to 6 meters for 30 minutes on both of them.
Now that's that's an interesting one. So you've got the water resistance on even the mini, which is
Yes.
$700. Weren't we talking about? Was it the Google 4A? Wasn't much cheaper than that, and there's no water resistance in that baby. So
Nope. No water resistance in the
interesting.
4A, but there is in the
Mm.
5, which is the same price. So
Yeah,
A14 Bionic in both phones,
that's very good.
dual camera system in both phones, ultra wide and wide, HDR video recording in both are the exact same. "12 megapixel camera in both. Let's see, I'm trying to see if it says anything about Face ID here. I'm a little bit curious about how you unlock it.
Well, the only way to unlock it is to swipe up. It's the way that they've been doing it with the other phones. I believe that's still continuing it. I think you just swipe up from the
Well,
bottom.
no, the other ones had Face ID. I don't see any mention of
No,
Face
there's no
ID in
Face
here.
ID. No, Face ID's been phased out. That's going.
So they don't have Face ID or a
No,
fingerprint sensor. That's going to be
no.
really annoying.
Yeah, and I'm not a
So
big
you have
fan.
to
That's
type
why.
in a PIN every time that you unlock your
No,
phone?
you
I
swipe
hope
up.
that's not
You
the case.
swipe up. No, you have to swipe up. It's a new way that they've been doing it for the last lot of phones.
Well, no, the
And
last
that's
phones
what.
had Face ID.
No, but they also had the swipe up as well.
Well, sure, but that's not a very secure method of unlocking your phone. If
Yeah.
anybody can pick it up and swipe up, I mean, you can do
Mm.
that on an Android phone too.
Yeah. Well, I believe that's. And I suppose that's maybe why people are complaining about the fingerprint thing on the forums.
Well, I would be complaining. I wouldn't, that would stop me
Mm.
from getting any iPhone if there's no way to unlock your phone
Yeah,
in a.
I'm not 100% sure, and don't. Let's not be the ultimate guide on that.
Nope, they do have Face
But
ID. There we go.
okay, they do. Good. Yeah.
Yep, enabled by True Depth Camera for facial recognition.
Okay, so that's
Excellent.
obviously
So
the
they do
secure
have Face
side of it.
ID.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know how you'd
Yeah.
have a phone without Face ID and without a fingerprint sensor.
Mm.
That would not be good.
So they obviously haven't got the fingerprint sensor, but they've got the Face ID. So that's still there. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So of course, both of them have Apple ID, Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Let's see. All the bands you could possibly want. 5G. Tons of bands. Any
Now in this
band that you could possibly want are included.
in this country, unfortunately, and this is why I'm not ultimately that excited, and probably won't. Well, I'm certainly not going to be rushing to get a 5G phone, but yeah, the 5G in Australia is really pretty uninteresting at the moment. So I think you'll find that at least in this part of the world and probably some other countries, this phone might not take off as much as in other places, like potentially the US. As
We'll
5G
see.
is
I don't
really a
know.
bit
I
of a
mean, it's
joke.
still a good phone, and by any account, it does have 5G. Even there in Australia, it has 5G.
Yeah, we've got 5G, but it's a crappy 5G.
It's not the millimeter wave, but it's still got 5G. And by any accounts, they're still going to be pretty decent phones. And they even having a 5G modem will also improve your 4G speeds. So I think
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But I think
Mm.
I would be surprised if they didn't sell. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Location, they're all the same. See, I'm trying to look at any differences here. I'm not
I
seeing any
actually think the
differences.
one that's really going to sell
FaceTime.
out of all of them is really going to be this Mini. I think a lot of people in this country are waiting for the Mini to come out, and that's certainly the one I'm interested in. Not really interested in the Max, especially not the $2,000 price tag. That's craziness.
All the music formats. Let's see if I can tell. Siri,
Now, are they finally going to
stereo
update
speakers.
the most important feature to me is, are they finally going to update their Bluetooth? Because that's been a joke forever on Apple. Or are they still continuing on with the ACCC or
So here we go. The
ACC?
mini one has video playback up to 15 hours, video playback streamed of up to 10 hours, audio playback of up to 50 hours. That's not that great. It's okay, but it's not great. The iPhone 12 ups that. Video playback 17 hours, playback stream of 11 hours, audio playback of 65 hours.
Okay.
Magnet safe, magnetometer. Oh, we need to talk about that too. Wireless charging, they've got that.
They finally sorted out their wireless charging. Hooray! That only took a few years. Because that has been problematic for Apple for quite a while.
So I don't see any other differences here. Essentially the same phone, except one is smaller, of course, the screen size and the battery.
So there's nothing
So,
about Bluetooth there?
Bluetooth 5.
Yeah, but is it aptX HD or is it, or it doesn't say?
I think that's proprietary to Snapdragon processors, the aptX
So the
HD.
Bluetooth will still be a joke, sadly. Oh well.
Yeah. So in the box, you get the iPhone. You get USB-C to Lightning cable,
And that's it. Oh, and a manual.
and you get documentation. Now they don't say
Yay.
if that's USB-C male or female or how that is, but that's what you get. I'm guessing that's USB-C female to
Female
Lightning
to
male,
Mail. Yeah.
but it doesn't specify. But I imagine that's what it would be. So there we go. That is the new iPhones. Now, should we go over the specs for the iPhone Pros?
Yeah, why not? If you've got them there. I think in terms of bang for your money, though, that Mini's pretty good. I mean, it's really not missing a huge amount. Although the only... Well, obviously, you're used to the fact that the Bluetooth audio is not going to be great. But the other thing that might suck somewhat is the battery, potentially. That could be
So let's talk about
interesting.
like the value proposition of the Mini. If it was me, and I was a blind person out there, unless I wanted that particular feel of a phone, I would not waste my money on an iPhone 12 Mini. I would actually go with the iPhone SE 2. Now it's true you're not getting as good of a processor, as good of a modem, but you're also saving yourself $350 or $350.
Probably more now, actually, because they'll probably have sales on that coming up, I'd say.
More if you
EST
more if you get it
28.
on sale. So
Yeah.
you know, if I think about the value proposition, yeah, it's true. You're getting a second camera. Yeah, it's true. You're getting a better screen. Yeah, it's true. You're getting a better modem. But for a blind person, for somebody who doesn't care about these things, modems, screens, whatever else, I think actually the 699 is quite a lot, and for only getting 64 gigs, I think you're a lot better
that's
off
true.
getting the regular, the regular SE. Personally, and they're both going to be getting updates for the next 5 years, and so that's just my thoughts on that. Now the pros, let's look at these. Silver, graphite, gold, Pacific blue, ceramic shield. So all of these have ceramic shields, including the iPhone 12s, but these colors are different. Capacity 112, 28, 256, 512. So notice you're getting more storage out of the box. The height and weight of the iPhone 12 Pro is pretty much the same exact as the iPhone 12. We've got width of 71.5 millimeters or 2.82 inches, a height of 5.78 or 146.7 millimeters, and a depth of 0.9 inches or 7.4 millimeters, and a weight of 6.66 ounces or
So it's a tad
189
fatter,
grams. So
I think,
definitely
from
heavier.
and heavier. Yeah.
Everything else
Mm.
is the same actually, but
Oh no, the
it's definitely
the
heavier,
yeah, it's heavier. Yeah.
and that's because they're using that stainless steel.
Mm.
Now the Pro Max, this one is the giant, 3.07 inches or 78.1 millimeters in width. Height is 6.33 inches or 160.8
Wow.
millimeters. Depth of 0.29 inches, 7.4 millimeters, which is the exact same. Weight of 8.03 ounces
Mm.
or 228 grams. So
Yeah, that's
quite a
starting to get
heavy
heavy. Yeah, that's
beast.
heavy. Mm.
Quite a chunky, large beast.
The funny
About
thing
what
is,
the
though, Nima,
Android
that
phones are.
the funny thing though, Nima, is that most of the Maxes have always been quite heavy. Even the 10s and the 11s, they're quite heavy.
They
They're
are, yep. And I
noticeably
think that's
heavier
just
than an
because
Android.
of their materials. You know, they're using the
Oh yeah, yeah,
stainless steel instead of
absolutely.
aluminium.
Mm. Yeah.
So 6.1 inch display for the display on the 12 Pro, and the Max is 6.7 inch. IP68 waterproofing up to 6 meters. So that's the same.
And of course, they're edge to edge this
A14.
year, aren't they? The
Yes.
screens are edge to edge now. That's another new thing for a lot of Apple users as well, which we've had on
A14
Android for a while.
Bionic. So same processor.
Yep.
Camera ultra wide, wide, and telephoto. The Pro Max has uh, an added camera as well. So
So you're getting an extra camera with the Pro from all
well,
the
a
other
better
small
camera
ones. A
rather. I
better
don't know that
camera
it's
as
an
well.
added
Yeah.
camera, but it's certainly a better
Yeah.
camera.
Mm.
They do give you more zooming. So the regular one goes up to 3 times zoom. The Pro Max goes up to 4 times zoom. So let's see here. Video recording. Very good specs there for video recording. The front camera is a 12 megapixel, same as the other ones, it seems like. They have Face ID, Apple Pay, Apple Card, who cares? Okay, this is what we care about here. All the bands look very similar in terms of what they have. They all have 5G, tons of band support. These are great travel phones. You can go anywhere in the world, and these will probably work. So these are probably one of the best phones that you can buy. Other than I'd say, the Pixels and the unlocked Samsungs are probably some of the best phones you can buy. Uh, Locations all the same. Now this is interesting. They say they have micro location. I'm not sure what that means. iBeacon and micro location. I don't know what that means, but video calling, FaceTime. Yep, they got that. All the audio formats are supported. I'm going to look at this and make sure there's nothing else in here. Bluetooth. Nope. Nothing on Bluetooth. Stereo speakers, of course. Built-in microphones. Okay, batteries. Let's look at the batteries here. Now, the Pro's got video playback of up to 17 hours, video playback streamed of up to 11 hours, audio playback of up to 65 hours, so similar to the iPhone 12. These actually look like the exact same, the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro. Now, the 12 Met Pro Max definitely has the best battery, video playback up to 20 hours, playback streamed of up to 12 hours, audio playback of up to 80 hours. And I would say these definitely look like good batteries.
Mm.
All right. They have fast charge, they have wireless charging, 15 watt.
Oh, okay. So that's only at 15 watt. That's interesting.
Yep.
Mm.
All right, so I've gone through the specs that anybody cares about. These are definite, seem like that pretty decent phones. Again, in the box, the same things. Everything's the same otherwise. So, again, unless you really want the better build, if you want a new iPhone, yeah, the mini or the regular 12. If you really care about having the better cameras and the better build, sure, go ahead and go for the Pro. But there doesn't seem to be that much to me that differentiates the Pros from unless you're a photography buff, you care about video. And I'm not talking about OCR apps here, because OCR
No.
apps are all going to be the same no matter which phone you get. They're going to be the same.
This is
You can get a
actually
very
recording
cheap
video.
2010
Yeah.
phone, and
This
it's
is
going to have the
recording
same.
video. This is like, editing and recording and stuff. If you want that. But yeah, I think in this country, the sort of sentiment is at the moment, Nimmer, and I sort of share that sentiment. I think for here anyway, unless you've got an old phone, if you've got a 10s Max or an 11, I don't know. I don't really see much point in updating here. I mean, yes, okay, you get the 5G, but as I said, the 5G here in this country is a joke. I have actually been on the phone and tested it. It's seriously not that much quicker than 4G at this point in time, and it will continue to be a joke for a number of years here. So,
Yeah.
unless you live in the US predominantly, and maybe a couple of other countries out there,
Oh, even if you live in the U.S., unless you've got the iPhone,
it's a joke.
Unless you've got an older iPhone or you're looking
Yeah.
to upgrade from an Android or you have a good reason to upgrade,
Or you've got to spare a couple of grand Aussie or whatever it is in
Then
equivalent in
I
America,
wouldn't do that.
$1,400, then yeah.
now there
I don't
are
know.
some good deals to be had. AT&T, for instance, is giving away the 12 for free.
Hmm.
Of course, with you have to get bill
yeah.
credits, but it
Yeah.
is essentially free. Verizon's giving a good discount because, of course, they want people to get 5G. So I think they're giving, I don't remember, I think $200 or $300. So definitely check out your carrier. And we can't possibly put links to all the carriers out there, but check out your carrier and you'll find out exactly what deals that they'll be having on these things. As I said, you can pre-order the 12 and the 12 Pro on Friday, and they'll be available next week. And the other ones, you'll have to wait. Sorry about that.
Very good.
All right. So that is about it for the Apple event. So if you have any questions, please email us, anatadpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to answer those. Please like this video or this podcast, share it out to your friends, tweet it, Snapchat it, or whatever the Snackchap or whatever it's called.
All
Facebook
the
it.
usual methods. And obviously, please share it out. Make sure that, we obviously want to get out to a number of people, and the more people we can get our message of iOS and Android through to, the better. So please share the podcast. That's the most important thing.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Emma. We'll catch you on the weekend.
Yep. Bye-bye.